What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you all again for tuning in this morning. Sorry about the little late start here. Kind of a off morning for me and running a little late. So, anywho, so yeah, good day to you guys. Sorry I didn't get a video uploaded yesterday of the trading day. I actually recorded it, but when I basically I recorded it, but instead of like saving it, I actually didn't save it, and now it's kind of just lost amongst a bunch of random files. I didn't give it a name. What happened is I didn't save it as like yesterday's trading day, so it's just saved as a random file amongst a bunch of other videos. So I don't really know which one it is. I have like 100 of them. So I was going through trying to find it yesterday, but I couldn't because I was basically an idiot. So we're not going to make that mistake today. So we will have an additional video uploading today. Yesterday, the trading day went like this. I sucked. I lost. I started down 600, and then I was negative 300. Then I was down 400. Then I was up 400. Then I was down 500. And it was a back and forth trading day, and it was just shitty. And then towards the end of the day, I made one good trade, and I ended up like $52 on the day. With commission, I ended up down like 200. So yesterday was a red day, down 200. And I'm going to try and find the video. I have it. I just have it amongst a bunch of files. And it'll be a really good video of you guys to see because it'll show you just how poorly you can trade in a day. And it's not only that. I made some good trades, but it would show you me exiting a trade early, getting messed up on a lag from Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim did delay, and it caused me to get a bad entry. So yesterday, it would have been a really good video to have. I just didn't save it under a specific name. Regardless, I'm going to try and find it. And if I do get it up to you, you'll see me kind of having fear of missing out, taking some poor trades. But the good thing, so here's the thing. Yesterday, I traded really poorly, meaning I took a few late entries. I had a bad fill. TOS lagged on me, right? And then it's not even that I was chasing stocks, but I was totally having the fear of missing out because every single one of my trades was not good. So I kept trying to jump in and get a good trade, get a good trade, get a good trade. And even though you're not even chasing a stock, your mentality is in the chasing mindset because you know you can do better, but you're not. So you keep trying to get it. It's just not working. But yesterday would have been a great video to show you cutting losses quickly, right? It would show you cutting losses quickly, even though, what's up, Shane? So even though I didn't trade good, I did a really good job at cutting losses quickly and getting out of my positions as soon as I knew I was wrong. And that's what allowed me to keep my losses small on the day. And if I didn't do that, I would have had a really red day. All right. So anyways, we're going to jump into it. We'll make sure to have the video up today for sure. So let me go ahead and share the screen. 1 second. All right, here we go. Let's get into it. So first one on my watch list is obviously going to be Twitter today. Twitter had earnings. As you can see, they gapped from $44. Let me get this out of the way. They gapped from $44. Hold on, let me unmute that. All right, so Twitter's first one on the watch list today, guys. Gapping from $44 down to a low of 34. So they did drop $10 a share. They are looking, through pre-market action, they are looking a little bit bullish, but I don't think this is going to last. I actually think we're going to see Twitter kind of roll over and have a red day. Well, it's already red on the day, but I think it's going to go to the downside even more. So if you can see here with the chart, 1 second, I got to grab my drawing tools. So as you can see, Twitter dropped, bounced, it failed the previous high mark here, pulled back, popped up, and now it's rolling over again. So it is currently on a little bit of an uptrend here pre-market. I'll show you. All right, so if we zoom in a little bit, you'll see that from the low up, it's kind of uptrending there, and it also has a little bit of a baby uptrend right there. All right, so its long-term trend You can see from the low pre-market towards this kind of dip area and so on, it is having a little bit of an uptrend. Okay, it is having a little bit of an uptrend. Now, with that being said, I still think we're going to see it roll over. What I think might happen here today is we might see it kind of hang out around this area. But I think what it wants to do is pop up and test the 200 moving average. I think it wants to test this purple line or this 200 moving average, and then we're going to start seeing it come back down and over. So all in all, I am thinking short bias on Twitter today because it is a gap down. It has pulled back quite a bit, and it's having or it has went back to the upside quite a bit, but it's also pulling back pretty significantly. Okay, so we are going to think to watching Twitter short. If you look at the yearly chart, 1 second. If you look at the yearly chart here, where are we at? We dropped down to a low of 34. There is 34 right there. So 34 right here. 34 is a previous high mark on the daily chart, which is right there. And if I mark it out with arrows, it'd be this pop right there. That little resistance it's seen and then the small support that it's seen, quite a few months back, that's what's holding a bounce spot pre-market today, or its pre-market low. So it is on a pretty good, significant, support area. But if that can break today, let's say Twitter can come all the way back down and break through the pre-market low. Okay, if it can break through the pre-market low, we can probably see it come down to about, I would say 32 to 31. Anywhere from 32 to 31 is probably pretty doable for Twitter based on the action it's seen already. Now, granted, we have seen Twitter come down quite a bit this morning already. So to have it break below 34 would be a stretch. I think if we see Twitter roll over, because we gap down, bounce, if it rolls over, we'll probably see it come down to the pre-market support, bounce, and then maybe head lower like that, okay? That's what I'm thinking. Again, if you look at the 1 minute chart here with Twitter, theoretically, if it were to go lower, this is most likely how it's going to trade, right? We came down. That's horrible. 1 second. Again, we come down. We bounce. We held a support on $36. We bounced up more. If it does roll over, we'll probably see it come down to 36, bounce, hit resistance right here on these previous highs, hit those, roll over, try and hold 36 again, maybe a small bounce, break through, and then bounce on 34, okay? So Twitter for me is more of a short bias play today, all right? Now, I'm going to talk about AMD. AMD earnings, was that yesterday? Yeah, right. Earnings yesterday, they ripped into after hours trading. So for me personally, bullish outlook on AMD today. I think we're going to see a continuation to the upside on AMD. But first, we'll most likely see a washout or a pullback out of the gates, right? So this is what I think we're going to end up seeing with AMD is we're going to see it do like this, and then it's going to pull back, and there will be a dip buy. And that's what I'll be waiting for. I'd be waiting for a dip buy on AMD. So if there is a dip buy here with AMD, it's probably going to be off the pre-market support here around $18.80 or this previous little resistance it had at about 19. So yeah, it's either $18.80 or $19 that we'll probably see a dip to. I highly doubt it dips to 19 and holds. It'll probably break through 19. So it's probably going to dip. If it does, it'd probably dip down closer to 1880s, and then we'd see a dip buy. If for whatever reason it broke through 1880, it would then come down closer to 1850s. Right in the 1850 area would be the next kind of area I would have marked off for a little bit of a dip buy yesterday. All right. And as we said, watch AMD long yesterday with their earnings. They ended up ripping on the day. So watch AMD long today for a possible continuation. So there's really a couple ways to play this, right? So you're either playing the dip buy here, 1880, or if it doesn't dip, you're playing the pre-market high, or sorry, after hours high breakout of 1925. All right. So that's it for AMD. AMD is into a 52-week high, so it has no overhead resistance in regards to previous price action. The only resistance you can mark off on AMD currently is every 50-cent mark and whole dollar mark from there on after. All right. Next one on the list is Expedia, EXP. Right. Yep. So EXP gapping up this morning from 125 to 143. Now, it doesn't have a ton of volume right now, but it is a good gap up, right? From 125 to a high of 143. It pulled back to 138. I'm bullish on EXP. I think EXP is going to be a long bias trade today. Considering that it gapped up, pulled back, and it's holding, I think we're going to see Expedia go long. So just watch Expedia long. It's kind of hard to judge the entry here because it doesn't have a lot of action pre-market. But for me, I would say entry is probably going to be over 140 because 140 is a little bit of a resistance pre-market here, 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 and here. So I think that 140 area is going to be kind of the price point to watch for possible long. Now, again, it has to pick up in volume. If it doesn't pick up in volume, I won't trade Expedia. 143, hold on. Go to the yearly chart. It's at 143. Expedia can probably pop up to about 144 to 145 on the day. If it does do that, then it will have completely filled its gap down back from 1026, right? So if you look here, Expedia gapped down on a couple earnings a long time ago. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and it's, yeah. So you can see here, look at this, ready? You see this gap down on Expedia right here. If you drag that across, you'll see that Expedia could fill the gap right here. This would be the gap fill. So Expedia is currently right about 140. It could fill this gap here, right? And that would completely fill this gap down from back here. Okay, and if it does that, there's probably going to be close to a 4 to 5 point move on Expedia to the upside if it does in fact go bullish. All right, next one on the list is Chipotle, CMG. If my charts load. All right, CMG. So CMG earnings, and they're gapping up again. Look at what happened the last time Chipotle had earnings. They gapped up, and then they ended up ripping on the day. Now, granted, the last time Chipotle gapped up, they gapped from 339 to 385, so 339 to 385. So they had a pretty decent gap up of about 45 points. So at last time Expedia gapped 45 points, it ended up running from 386 to 424 on the day. So it ran $40 a share, right? 26. Yeah, it ran about $40 per share on the day, a little less than that on the day, the last time it had earnings. Today, it has gapped up from 440 to a high of 478, currently resting at 475. So currently, Expedia has gapped up $35 a share right now. The last time, or sorry, Chipotle gapped up $35 a share today. The last time Chipotle gapped up this much money, or the dollar value per share, it ended up going on about a $40 run throughout the day. So for me, I'm going to watch Chipotle playing on the idea that it's going to have a very similar outcome as the last time it had earnings, okay? Now, there's no guarantee that Chipotle is going to run similar to the way that it ran last time, but history does tend to repeat itself, and we could look at a similar move, right? And my math might be off on how much the gap downs and this and that were, but I'm doing these things pretty fast off the top of my head. But again, that is going to be the watch list for me here today. Chipotle, CMG, AMD, Twitter, and Expedia. I'm also going to be watching AWX. Not that I want to trade AWX, but I know everybody else has been focusing on it. So AWX penny stock that ran from, like 286 to a high of $7 today. Now, I have not traded AWX one time throughout this whole time period. The only good time to have traded it would have been this day. This day right here would have been like the one really good day to have traded it for me. Yesterday, to me, is a really ugly day. If I ever see a penny stock and it's chopping, I don't trade it. I just don't like it, right? Because this right here, let me zoom in, yesterday's trading. Like this is not fun to trade. That is boring, not exciting, and it's very risky. This right here, that is not fun to trade. That is boring, not fun, no. So everything you've seen taking place yesterday, in the stock AWX is simply short squeezes. For the newer trader, they would have no clue what was taking place yesterday. Okay, that short squeeze, this short squeeze, that short squeeze, short squeeze, short squeeze, short squeeze. Everything yesterday was simply a short squeeze. If there was not people short selling the stock, AWX would have never had as good of a day as it had yesterday. From what I can tell, there's probably a lot of manipulation taking place on AWX. The stock has been getting propped up over yesterday, meaning there has been someone there propping up the stock and continuously squeezing out each and every short seller that happened to hop in the stock as soon as it was about to break down. Now, today, it's squeezed up even more. And so for me, I'm going to play it short bias. I would be short bias on the stock. But since I know a lot of people are shorting it, it might run the risk of having another short squeeze somewhere in here. And if it does, I'll play it. So what I would tell you guys to do is watch AWX very same as yesterday. Watch it to dump out and then look for it to consolidate like this or like that. And then look to long it in expectation that it's going to start squeezing out the short sellers. Okay. And that's also another thing, guys. Today is Friday, so volume tends to be a little bit lower. Plays seem to not work out as good as they normally would. So again, you have to be a little bit cautious there. All right. One thing I will show you here today is a trade that I already took pre-market. All right. So currently on the day, currently today, I'm already sitting up $470 on the day from trading Twitter. I traded Twitter pre-market, seen an opportunity, decided to take a stab at it. So here we go. So Twitter, I did trade it once, 2,000 shares. I was up about $800 at one point, so I didn't make the full potential, but you never usually end up getting the full potential you can. It just never usually happens. So what I ended up doing was I did short Twitter this morning, pre-market right there, because it had this bounce to right to 38. So going straight across there, I knew that 38 might hold a resistance and other short sellers and sellers would come in looking to short it. So I ended up taking a short right there on Twitter this morning with 2,000 shares. So 2,000. I ended up shorting that. I ended up covering 1,000 shares right at the bottom. And then I covered up another like 500 shares right there. And then as it started to push back up, I covered up my last fund of 400 shares, netting $470 on the day. So even before market open, I'm already sitting up with a nice cushion on the day. So this is going to allow me to kind of get a little aggressive at market open, maybe take a little bit bigger share size than I normally would at market open because I have a little bit of cushion. So it's nice going into the trading day already being up on the day because you don't have to worry about your first trade being red or green because you already are green going into market open. All right. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today on today's pre-market watches. So hopefully that helps. I know I didn't go over any other stocks today other than the ones on my watch list, so I do kind of apologize, but not really. So other than that, some news. I will be going to California today at 4 o'clock. So I'll be in California for all of next week. So I'll be trading all next week. What would you like me to change the name of my YouTube channel to, Connor? Rouse? What is your idea? And then secondly, again, like I was saying, I'm going to be going to California throughout all of next week. So I will be trading California. So my watch list in the morning might tend to be a little bit shorter. I might go through them a little bit quicker because I'm going to be having to wake up at like, 5:30, 5 in the morning to get everything going, right? So I'm going to be waking up much earlier than I would if I was in Michigan. So I'm going to be waking up much earlier. So my watch list on YouTube might be a little bit slower. I might even be a little bit more off my game considering I'm going to be waking up extremely early, okay? So just understand that if I'm kind of absent maybe one day next week, the videos aren't quite as long. That's because I'm going to be in California trading, all right? With that being said, If any of you guys live in California and you would like to do a meetup, kind of go out, grab a drink, grab a coffee, get lunch, discuss anything about trading, kind of walk you through some things, I would be more than happy to sit down with any one of you guys, grab a drink, do anything in general. I'll be more than happy to. I will be in San Diego. So I will be throughout the whole San Diego area in California. I won't be in Los Angeles. I will not be in San Francisco. So I might head to LA one day. I might go to Hollywood or do something touristy over there. I might, haven't decided, but I will be in California. So if you would like to meet up with me, I'd be more than happy to do it. Just make sure to reach out to me either today or some point throughout next week. You can reach out to me through Facebook or through our stock trading chat room. So if you do want to get in direct contact with me, make sure to make sure to follow the link in the description to our chat room, join, and then you can send me a direct message and we can kind of discuss everything there. And yes, I do live to, I've been to PB, I have been to Pacific Beach, and I've been to PB and OB. I've been to PB and OB the last time I was there. I like those areas. I do live, Daniel, I live right next to Ann Arbor. My girlfriend went to school in Ann Arbor, so I used to basically live in Ann Arbor for like 2 years. Not meeting LeBron. He's not worthy. All right, guys, other than that, that's all I have for you. But again, if you want to reach out to me, you want to do like a little meetup, feel free to reach out to me on Discord or Facebook through a direct message or even Instagram, whatever you choose. Well, I think Boiler Room Music is just going to have to change over their name because, you know, we're more important over here anyways. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys all probably come Monday morning. Other than that, everybody take care. Have a good day and stay green.